How to make YouTube thumbnail like this. In this video I will show you how to make a thumbnail like this step by step. I won't take too long, so let's start it. The first thing to do is to create a project. The size should be set to HD. You can of course make it full HD, but as far as I know YouTube will then compress the picture to normal HD quality, so there is no point. These settings should be set like mine. Here sRGB and here square pixels to get the colors right. Once I've created the project, I throw all the photos I need to work with into Photoshop. I hope I don't need to show you how to add a file to Photoshop. The next step is to separate the girls from the background. I will do this using two tools. With the quick selection tool I make a basic selection by just selecting the area the girl is in, and then with the lasso tool I'll fix the selection where it didn't work well. I've had people write to me in the comments that I speed up the video too much, and not everyone keeps up with me, but I try to emphasize the main points and speed up the video so it doesn't take too long. For example, now I don't show anything important, I just announce what I'm doing and speed up the video. I'll try to give more detail on what I'm doing, hopefully this will help. After I've selected the character, I click on select and mask, and I use these sliders to adjust the selection. Next comes working with the background. There is grass on the bottom and blue sky on top, and in the center there is a road with girls running along it. I just added a normal photo with the sky and grass and another photo with the road. I changed the opacity of the road layer and adjust it so that the road is on the grass and not on the sky. I create a mask and use a black brush to wipe away all the excess. I'm not doing it careful because I'll fix it later through the neural network. The next step is to add this big thing to the background. I don't remember what it's called, but it doesn't matter. Placing it roughly in the center, and from this picture I take the red finishing tape. I cut it out with a regular lasso, duplicate the layer with the ribbon and just cut out. You can duplicate the layer with the Ctrl+J keys. And I make these two layers into one layer so that looks like one solid ribbon. As you can see, I'm erasing the excess with the mask. With Ctrl held down, I select these two layers, convert to a smart object, Ctrl+T, then left click and select warp, and I make this ribbon more realistic. I select the background, and with the sky replacement tool I replace the sky, but I'm not going to use the sky that Photoshop offers. I'll use a different photo. Since it's a small photo, I duplicate it, and on the mask I erase the excess. To make the shadows under this large object I create levels. I make these settings, and on the mask I draw the shadow where it is needed. I don't do it perfectly because again I'll fix it through the neural network. Then I duplicate the levels by Ctrl+J and place the layer above this podium, I'll call it that, and clip the levels with the help of clipping mask. Quickly it can be done by pointing the cursor between the two layers. Press the Alt key and left click between them, and in the same way I draw a shadow on the podium, deleting the old mask and create a new one. I create an empty layer behind the girls to add a small shadow with a regular black brush, and also on another layer I make a small glow. Although it's more like a small haze, I do it in white, a little yellow color. To make the rostrum fit in better with the composition, I'm going to create selective color and make the shade more jaundiced, more green, so that it's not flashy and blends into the overall composition. I just move the sliders and look at the result. There is no secret. And in the same way I do with the road. And also on a new layer, with the help of clipping mask, I will make a small light on the podium. In general, the work with the background is completed. Now we need to fit the girls into the composition. The first thing I will do is to change the color of the t-shirt of the girl on the right side. I choose the quick selection tool, and as usually with the lasso tool, I fixed the selection where it worked badly. I create a hue saturation. I make these settings, but because I accidentally painted the license plate, I'll use the lasso to select that plate and remove the mask on that plate. Next I create a selective color and do a little color correction. I do a more saturated skin color t-shirt and overall better fit the girl into the composition. As you can see, it looks good. With a regular black brush, I darken the source a little bit around the edges and make a little glow just like on the podium. Also I do a little color correction through camera raw, make the source more contrasty and improve the quality a little by adding textures and removing noise, and it would be nice to add inner shadow with about these settings. I do the same thing with the girl on the left side. I do color correction, change the color of the t-shirt and so on. To make the ribbon fit better into the composition, I will add a shadow on it and a small reflexes on top. After all this, with the key combination Ctrl plus Alt plus Shift plus A, I combine all layers into one layer and make color correction for all objects. After color correction, I throw the thumbnail into stable diffusion and improve it a bit, and this is the result I got. As you can see, there are nice reflexes and drops so sweet on the body of the girls. I can make a video about how I work in stable diffusion. Maybe in the future I will make such a video, but it will be in the future.